Good day, fellow cinemas and movie geeks of the internet. You're watching Deano Reviews. Hello there. How you doing? Today, we're looking at something quite special. By the way, I'm sorry that the normal fading colours that normally occur behind my TV aren't there. I think I have no idea why it's not there, actually. Normally I switch a switch and switch to, that's how you say it, and you switch the switch and normally it pops on, and it's not. I thought the remote ran out of batteries, but just not turning on. But we're not talking about my lights, we're talking about Batman. You know, the guy who shoots webs and climbs walls and stuff. Yeah, that guy. I just ticked off all of you, everybody. I'm sorry. I'm a superhero geek nerd myself, and I take pride in that. And nowadays, you know, you're not judged for it. Hey, I like Iron Man. Yeah, so does pretty much everyone else, unless the cool kids. Oh, what? I don't like superheroes. I'm not cool. Well, okay, that's take it. There are some people who just don't like superheroes, and that's probably understandable because we're all special snowflakes in our own way. Anywho, my motivational "be who you are" speech aside, don't know what that even was. Talk about this. Now, what is this? This is Batman returned. He hasn't returned, but he's going to return. He already has, because the movies. I've saw the movie, so he did return. Batman Return of the Caped Crusaders. I could have executed that a bit better. Now, this is another DC animated film. You know, in the same vein of. Well, not in the same vein. If you basically along the same lines as Batman Under the Red Hood, and I have to draw them because I thought I would reference this eventually. I should have gotten the DVD out. Sorry, my Frozen Deluxe Edition CD case is in the way. Have to take the entire drawer out, and the Killing Joke. That was worth it. Now I have to put my drawer back. Oh, bugger! Oh, come on! Come on! Oh, there you go. Good draw. Now, shall I go get my Batman Under the Red Hood DVD? Nah, that's not worth it. For some odd reason, I have a thing when I mention a film and I own it on DVD, I have to just do this for some reason. Like, you can't just assume what it is. I don't know. I got DVDs, guys. Aren't I cool? See? Killing Joke, I own this. Someone going up the stairs. Are they going to come in? No. I could cut this out, but I'm not. True to life. You can't just cut out the awkward moments. They're staying in. Anywho. So, this is... I'm not talking to you, PlayStation. The PlayStation thinks I'm talking to it. I only talk to it off camera. But, anywho. This is another DC animated film, but not based off a comic or like a famous run like Under the Red Hood or a very famous graphic novel like The Killing Joke. This is based off, in fact, the 1960s Batman show, and I'm guessing, seeing how I look 12, but I am in fact 17, I don't know why. Maybe I bet you all don't think I'm actually 12. I've just gotten used to people thinking I look really young. If you don't think I look 12, thank you. But I do know of the 1960s Batman show. I've never in fact watched a full episode, but it was a couple months ago. I watched the 1966, I believe it was 66, the 1960s Batman movie, and it was a good time. Some days you can't just get rid of a bomb, and all that. It's a gem of a movie, because compared to the Dark Knight, because there's the Dark Knight and then there's that. It's all Batman, but Dark Knight and then there's that. I just loved how it was so. It was silly. It was goofy. It was cheesy. Robin said "holy something" all the time. There was bat something. Everything was bat something. Even Robin, you'd expect to say Robin something, but no bat because bat sounds cooler. Oh look, is my Robin cave? Is my Robin bat? But no, oh man, I had to say bat. I can't help it. It's bat. You gotta say bat everything. It just it was brilliant. Like Riddler laughed more like the Joker than the Joker to me. Like I think the Riddler had like a Mark Hamill-esque laugh in that movie and show. You could tell the Joker had a mustache, so if you could hear sounds in the background. The door isn't soundproofing, proofing, yeah. And obviously Adam West, the gem. I loved how it ended with just everyone. Sorry, spoilers for the 1960s Batman movie. It just ended with all those people getting turned to dust, or actually no, not turned to dust. They were turned back, but all the minds were in the wrong bodies. And Batman and Robin just said, "Yeah, screw it, let's just leave her." And you know that could sort itself out. And it just go and it ends. And and the bit when they're running and it's a green screen, so they're just going in place. And also Batman and Robin, you know, just they're such goody two shoes. They're just like always agreeing with each other, like, hey Batman, that can't be this, can it? Yes, it is, Robin. I've talked to you well, and well done, Robin. And well, thanks, man. Thanks, Batman. They said, no worries, Robin. They're good old chums. They're goody two shoes. Goody two shoes. They're not cool. That's pretty cool, actually. They rock those skin. Thank you, Facebook. They rock those skin tight, bloody tight, skin tight tights, and that. I don't know. It's such. Is a period piece. That's what it is. Sorry, Batman. My head is covering you. Hey, Burt Ward. How you doing? And. I mean, what can you say about 60s Batman? Yes, I believe I was, the way I was introduced to Batman, at least, I was introduced to it either through Batman the Anime Series by watching one of the, I had a little Batman, I still do, it's a Batman animated series box set, but it didn't have, like, every episode. It only had, like, I don't know, maybe up to 30 episodes with, like, a volume type thing. That was probably not my introduction. It could have been The Dark Knight in 2008. I was 8 years old. Yeah, it's great. You would expect Heath Ledger. I watched it in the cinema, by the way, with my dad and my uncle. I don't even know how I was allowed. And because I was obviously 8, and the movie's. I bet the movie is 12 at least. And strangely enough, it wasn't Heath Ledger that scared the crap out of me. It was Two-Face. You know, have his face being burnt off, and that kind of freaked me out. Wow, just me going to that. Yeah, but I think most likely my introduction was maybe 89 Batman. But I actually remember maybe asking for that film, or no, I don't know how I got that film. My parents got me that 89 Batman on DVD. But by the way, I might just say my favourite interpretation of Batman, film, TV wise, is either 89 Batman or animated series Batman. Animated series Batman is because it just embodies everything about Batman. It got all the villains. It got Batman and Robin. It got Batcave. It got the music and the fight scenes and how it looks. It's the embodiment of what Batman is, and also Mark Hamill. Also loved them Arkham games. Could have been Arkham games as well. But anyway, that aside, the way I saw this film, in fact, was it wasn't because like this is a DC anime film, so I didn't buy it on DVD or anything. My cinema was doing a special screening where it's a one night only thing where they played the film with a few other extras. So I got to see this film on a big screen, which seeing a DC anime film on a big screen was pretty darn cool. I mean, some things went wrong. I mean, basically because if you heard something, don't question it. Something downstairs. But basically, how it normally works at my cinema, if they're just playing a film, as they normally do, 20 minutes of adverts. So if you get there around, if it says half past and you get there around, I don't know, 35 past or whatever, you're fine. But I mean, I do like to watch the adverts. You know, may I say. But normally, if it's a special film, like I don't know, they're playing an older film or something, or a film earlier, you know, than its release date, normally it'll just maybe play 2 minutes of something, or it will just start straight away. Like I wanted, like how I went to see Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, and it said 11 o'clock, and I kind of hoped that it would play 20 minutes of adverts. I got kind of late. Takes me about 15 minutes to walk there. I got there around 11:15, and it was 15 minutes into the movie. It doesn't matter, I've already seen the movie, and I got to see, you know, the really, really good parts, like the basilisk. That was me, sword in the basket. Moving on. But here, I thought it was going to be late because I actually booked to see this 3 weeks in advance. I was quite excited to see it, and it was like, I got there around like 32 past when it starts at half past, and they played like 15 minutes of adverts anyway. But basically, how it began was Kevin Smith. I know who Kevin Smith is, director of like Clerks and all that. I don't believe I've ever seen one of his films. I want to see his films. I know of him because I also watch movie fights on Screen Junkies. Then there's another guy who I kind of recognise, I think. Oh, good heart mail. And then a random girl, and they basically, it starts off with just they're going like, "Hi, welcome. You're sitting in a special place right now. You're at cinema. You're about to watch this movie." And then they just have like maybe a 5 or 4 minute chat about how they were introduced to Batman and how much they love Batman and how much they like this Batman, and it just kind of, I felt like I was just like I was watching a YouTube video on a big screen. Like normally I watch YouTube videos with just a bunch of people talking about geeky stuff, and I was just watching it on a big screen. Like I'm watching this am I meant to be watching this on my laptop, and like this maybe 4 to 5 minute video on my laptop, but no, they were just sitting there watching them talk. Just you could kind of tell the girl was kind of fake laughing. It was kind of forced and maybe cringy, as it were. Like, I was like, oh, he likes Batman. I like Batman. I'm not the biggest fan. I'm not like, Batman stuff everywhere, all over my walls. I grew up mostly on Spider-Man, but I like Batman fine, even though, I think he's cool, I assume, but I'm more into his villains. Just Joker all the way. And Riddler. I'm a Mr. Freeze kind of guy. I just really like Mr. Freeze. I don't know why. Especially his voice in the Arkham City game. That was neat. Who did make a cameo in this movie, by the way, may I just say. Well, it's the 60s version of him. In this movie, I recognise, obviously, Joker, Riddler, Penguin, Catwoman, Mr. Freeze. But there was a bunch of other villains in here, by the way, not to give anything away, a bunch of cameos, and obviously they were the forgotten, overly stupid and ridiculous, like no way they could put a spin on it to make them kind of cool, and kind of very neat villains. Like they put a spin on like Clayface and Two-Face, and made them very neat, to make them very engaging, but I don't think you could make bloody Eggman or whatever he was called. There's a reason people don't really remember him nowadays, but yeah, they had a lot of the 60s Batman villains who I did not recognise, but I could tell just by their one troop, like, yep, that's from that time. Speaking of the Arkham games, thanks to this movie, I'm gonna go put in my copy of Arkham Knight and get in the Adam West 60s Batman skin, and also the ability to make the Batmobile the 60s Batmobile, because this movie just got me in that mood now, may I just say. But basically it's just like, kind of force just banter, as it were, and about stuff, but then they say, okay, you're about to see the movie, then here you go, it fades out. Instead of the movie starting, by the way, they say, oh yeah, stick around after the movie to see some extras. They play the extras before the movie, and it's like a 5 or 6 minute video of the cast members and the director and the screenwriter and the animator just sitting there talking with a green screen, and they talk about like how in depth 60s Batman is. Even though, I think they meant Batman as a whole, but I did think they would kind of talk about how, like, at some moments, how in-depth the 60s show was, which it isn't, because even I know that they made it, like, we need a show where a guy punches stuff, and it'll be really popular, and, Batman. Actually, no, like, he got that idea from seeing a Batman comic. I knew that because a lovely chap, I was talking to a lovely chap who was a fan of Batman, and he told me that, but this show wasn't really that in-depth, and it didn't really have many, thought-provoking scenes, but yeah, but then they just start talking about how in depth it is, and they were just showing random clips and imagery and dialogue from the movie that kind of gave some stuff away. It isn't like a Marvel film, or like what's a film that normally has a lot of spoilers in, I don't know, But I mean, I wasn't like, oh no, it's ruined. It's an anime movie based off the '60s Batman show. So there's not really a lot they could go like, oh, ruined now they spoiled that image, that piece of dialogue. But it was kind of annoying. I was like, stop talking, you schmucks. Show me the movie. Stop showing stuff. It's like when you put on a DVD, you put on a DVD of a film you've never seen, and this DVD menu comes up and it's showing clips already and pieces of dialogue from the film. Like, stop showing me. So basically, they do extras of how they made the film and with clips and stuff, and that's when the film starts. Like, they talk, it even has credits to the extras, and then the film starts. So basically, it was like, okay, stick me on for some extras. Here's the film. They show off 6-minute extra of like talk with the cast and the people who drew it and stuff, and how in depth it is, and talking about the dynamics and showing clips of the film. And that's when the film started. And then when the film ended, I'm like, okay, is this the extras? Nope, you hit at my cinema when a film is definitely over, they play a drum sound, and that's when you know it's over. So basically, they played the other way around. But it's okay, because what did I think of this film? I had a great time. This is a charming, adorable, you just want to cuddle it film. I mean, this is kind of just a chat, this has just been a chat about Batman and that experience in general so far. But this film is a love letter to the '60s Batman show. It really is. And basically, I don't know if this is true, but I think if you're like a die-hard fan of the '60s Batman show, I think every single reference or homage or satire or parody was accomplished in this animated film. Some days you can't just get rid of a Bond reference is in there. Fact that they say bats to everything is in there. Fact that like Goody Two Shoes about everything is in there. Fact that like somehow the goal is accomplished and everything works out okay is in there. The fact that bat everything, which I think I already said, is in there. What else is in there? The fact that the Facebook again, everything about is in there. Okay, I said in there several times now, because back to see us in that. This is a good jolly old time. And may I just say, hearing Adam West, Mayor West, his voice in surround sound, or just sound around me in a cinema, is a beautiful thing. The fact that I'm hearing Adam West's voice, I'm hearing Burt Wart's voice. Also, that was thank you for applying your voice to that Robot Chicken episode, by the way. And also the person who played Catwoman, by the way, I love her voice. I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but the person who played the lovely lady who played Catwoman, who I could tell she's a lovely lady in her interview and talking about the actual movie in the extras. You could tell she's a sweetheart. just brilliant. I'm just saying the lady who does the voice of Catwoman, the original Catwoman, you could just tell by her voice, she's so sweet. I just love her voice. It's like a nice it's like a sweet whispery old lady voice. I'm not saying she was lovely for her age. I don't know how old she is, but did I say lovely in her old age as in the cartoon or the movie or in real life? Because it must be weird to voice basically, I know, your very younger self, but when you played a character in an old show, that must have been a weird experience, but a good experience. But anywho, moving on. Oh yes, how could I forget? Pow, Drop. It is in there, obviously. Of course, that's in there. And but okay, if I had to say, I'm just going to say this straight off. If there's a flaw to any of this, I mean, there's some flaws that didn't necessarily bother me. Some people could get tired very quickly, or just get annoyed, or just not be a fan of how much this movie embraces how goofy and cheesy this era Batman was, or shall I say this adaptation of Batman. They can say, I don't like it because it's so cheesy and stupid. It could get old very quick for them because that's the entire film. And also, this movie does the transition of the bat symbol going like this. It's not the classic, like the cartoon bat with like Adam West's head on it going da na 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 na, or that how it sounded like. It was like a da na na, and then like swooling stuff behind it. It's more of like just the bat symbol, the like that, just going no 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 or something like that. And pretty much because this movie, I think, is basically just an episode of the show extended to 90 minutes, or however long the movie is, that they want it to feel like an episode of the show, so they have transitions all the time of going, no. Sometimes, like just within, 2 minutes, it just goes, like maybe they do, a 1 minute scene, and, there's the whole no thing here, and then the whole no thing here. So basically, I noticed it. They did it a lot, but that transition could get very annoying because they do it quite a bit. But yeah. Did I mention how much I want to hug this movie? I loved the 60s Batman movie, and now I've pretty much seen the cartoon version of it. If you love this version of Batman, this is your jam. Yes, okay. It's right next to me. The Killing Joke, and I remember I not only got this for my birthday, but I also got the graphic novel for my birthday. And before I watched this movie, I read the graphic novel on a car ride, and obviously it's a masterpiece, brilliant. And yes, I tried my best, even though it's probably not the best to read something while driving, because apparently that can make you feel a bit sick because you're trying to concentrate on reading the words. I did imagine Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill's voice in my head, but when seeing this movie, yes, everyone knows it. If you don't know it, basically, in the adaptation here, the one everyone was excited for, they just shove in an extra 30 minutes at the beginning that has nothing to do with anything. There's not even a mention of the Joker, and it's just focusing on Batgirl, which I know what they were trying to do, and make so you're more sympathetic. Give us some more development to what happens to her. I read the comic. I don't want to spoil it if you haven't read it. I'm not even that much of a comic person. I don't own that many comics, but I'm glad I own that one. But then there's also a thing between Batman and Batgirl, which is kind of gross because they're like a father-daughter type dynamic thing, and I wonder what Commissioner Gordon's gonna think. And then it just has the transition to Rainfall. Oh, this is where it is. So what I'm trying to say, not like a mini review of the Killing Joke I'm trying to shove in, is alright. Or I don't know, just Mark Hamill all the way. Basically what I'm trying to say is, this movie doesn't add I don't know, something to try to make itself cool or something just very out of place. It doesn't I don't know. Well, I don't know. It doesn't just does. This movie is kind of fan service, but in a good way. It's not I don't know, in a show they just shove in a random cameo of a character episodes ago, and it adds nothing. It's pointless. It's just fan service. It's just for the people to go, oh look, that's in it. No, this movie does it well. So this movie doesn't reference Dark Knight. It doesn't reference Christopher Nolan. It doesn't reference anything out of that time period. It doesn't reference how dark Batman is nowadays. It doesn't have this. I can't remember his name. Vision Romero. I'm so sorry. Rest in peace. I can't pronounce the name. It doesn't have a moment when he meets Jared Leto Joker. Thank God. So that's what you're like nowadays. No, this is full. It embraces it and it's brilliant, and I haven't seen every single DC anime film, but I read some Rotten Tomato reviews and everyone loves it, and it's some of his best work, and just I'm glad they did this. Maybe soon, maybe now they'll do other adaptations of past DC media things. Maybe they'll do a DC anime movie of Super Friends, or of the Tim Burton Batman, or the Christopher Reeves Batman, or something like that. Not just graphic novels or comic runs, storylines and such. They'll take famous DC live action movies and do anime versions of them. because people say DC thrives in animation, and I mean I've seen a fair few of DC animated stuff, and I had a jolly good time with this. And funny thing is, I'm 17 years old, and I didn't grow up with this version of Batman, but I did always know of this version of Batman. I got the gist, and there wasn't that many people in the screening. I believe there was one person around my age, and it was kind of funny. But there was like the adults that did grow up with it, basically said, "Oh, that was crap. That took the mick out of it. It mocked it." And one person said she fell asleep, and but I don't think. I think that was mostly because they played the extras. And yeah, I think there was a moment where I just turned round, and when the extras ended, like I heard one person say, "Oh, that was good," because yeah, like it was weird. They said, "Here's the movie. Here's behind the scenes of the movie you haven't watched yet," and just play a few clips of there, and then it shows credits, and that's when the movie begins. So yeah, I bet that kind of affected the experience for some, but boop. But yeah, by the way, the voice cast, even the people who duplicate the voices of cast members who are in the show that have sadly passed, they do a great job. There's the whack whack whack. There's that. But like Adam West, Burt Ward, and I can't remember the name of the original Catwoman, but brilliant. Just they still got it. And there's all. By the way, guess I don't know what else the movie also has the thing where in the '60s show they just word things weirdly. They just say those dastardly devils. This is like what was it? Like a confusing conundrum. Like just say words that have the same letters at the beginning, and they just word things a bit weirdly. They also do this. I mean, when it comes to the animation was quite good. The fight scenes worked well. I mean, there's a funny thing during the credits where they have Batman dance, and rarely does animated dancing go well and actually look right. Normally it's just something like that, and you do notice it, like basically where like Batman, basically you could tell they animated Batman doing a dance move. And before they transition it into him doing another dance move, they repeat it. So basically, Batman finishes moving his arm this way. So they wanted to basically do the same thing. So they kind of have it jitter a bit, and then they go that way. So basically, in that regard, the animation isn't always smooth. There's always a bit jittering, or maybe a bit choppy, and there's always like like basically they show a shot of a bunch of people reacting to something, and there's always one guy just completely standing still with his arm in the air. Can't move, guys. It has to cut away from me to move my arm slightly. But okay, I'm gonna sum up now, because basically, I mean, I can't really talk about like in the storytelling narrative or cinematography, because it's an anime movie based off the '60s Batman show. It's basically an extended episode, and it has all the lovely cliches, if you want to say cliches, all the tropes, gimmicks, whatever you say, of just maybe of the superhero type stuff in general in that era. Silver Age, basically, it's like the Silver Age on screen of DC, except with no Superman, or anyone else besides everyone that has to do with Batman. But like, yes, there's a part where like basically Bruce Wayne becomes a bit of an arsehole, and you could already get the gist. For a moment I was like, basically something happens to Bruce Wayne or Batman. They're the same person. And Bruce Wayne starts acting a bit suspiciously, and I'm like, does that have to do with that? But then he stops acting suspiciously, and like, okay, I'm guessing that was a runtime random moment. Okay. But then he starts acting suspiciously again, and it's like, oh, okay, it's happening slowly. But and there was also some weird, questionable moments. Glad I didn't forget this. I should have wrote notes. There's a part where Robin, just watch it if you want to see it to believe it. There's a part where Robin, he thinks about possibly molesting Catwoman. I'm not going to add any context to that, but I think you'll know it when you see it. He just looks at Catwoman like, should I? Nah, I shouldn't. There's some questionable moments, like that, but oh, what else is there to think about? Bat, just bat everything. I can't think of many words besides charming and adorable and huggable. It's a love letter, like I said, love letter to the show. It embraces it, it loves it. It pretty much satires, parodies everything that you could imagine to do with it. All the voice cast does wonderfully. Adam West and Burt Ward, and bless you. I wonder if they're like super friends in real life. Super friends. Animation is really good. The colours does pop. It's basically an extended episode of the show. Yes, the transition thing could be annoying, and you could get tired of it, being so cheesy and goofy. I mean, it's not laugh out loud funny. I mean, there was a moment where I did chuckle, like just said, "Wow, this is so silly and I love it." But there was one other person who just laughed out loud. Yes, I could. Yeah, I mean, this was a special screening, so I could have got the upper hand and did this review earlier to get the views, but who cares? So here it is now. I mean, I wanted to do this anyway. I'm still meaning to do reviews of like 4 movies: Sausage Party and Cuba on the Two Strings and War Dogs and Pete's Dragon. Possibly more. I also put Kubo and the Two Strings poster up earlier. Yeah, but okay. I'm guessing I'm 30 minutes now. I was hoping to keep this short because strangely, I think there's not really a lot to talk about. So I kind of got the gist. I thought, but I added in the whole Batman stuff. But yes, how should I rate it? I don't know. It depends if you like this sort of thing. But for me, my experience, my liking, all of that, 8 out of 10, maybe for what it was. It was brilliant. It was great. Okay, it's not I don't know, Under the Red Hood with complex characters and storylines and sense of betrayal and redemption and such. But this it's just a lovely thing. It's a lovely thing. So thank you. So yeah. And holy, have you done, Batman? Yes, Robin. We need to go downstairs and brush our teeth before to go to bed. Tooth decay is a horrible thing to deal with, and in order to have good hygiene, you need to have good white, clean teeth. My gosh, Batman, you are right. How could I be so foolish? Good, Robin. Now get in your tighty whities and get in the same bed as mine. We have some crime fighting to do tomorrow. What will Robin and Batman do next time? Where their hygiene go well? That's super fun. But yeah. Good tie. That's my Tom Baker little bit for you. Goodbye.